As most of you, as I can see, are regulars, a couple of new faces I see. Welcome to them also. This is a series of talks that's been going on the concepts in the Yoga Sutra of Maharishi Patanjali. And we completed about 9 concepts from the first chapter. There are 4 chapters in this book. And we are now dealing with the concepts in the second chapter. In the second chapter, which is what is meant for us commoners, very practical concepts have been dealt with. We began with the concept of Kriya Yoga or Karma Yoga, and we tried to understand that why Maharishi Patanjali is speaking of something like that. We also looked at and what are the components of it. Tapa, Swadhyaya and Ishvara Pranidhan. Said a threefold process by which you can help yourself come out from the bondage of life and death. Come out of the cycle of life and death. Then we went on to talk about the kleshas, a very technical term otherwise, and we talked about the 5 kleshas, of which the one major is avidya. Avidya is expresses itself in 4 other forms, that is asmita, raga, dvesha and abhinivesha. Very quickly I'll just translate this for the sake of those who are here for the first time. The main idea of the klesha or the kriya yoga, or rather the entire yoga and yoga of Patanjali, so to say, is to liberate oneself from this rigmarole, the cycle that we have got into. It's a vicious cycle kind of, that you're born, you die, you're born again, you die again, and you are caught up into all these routine. Everybody goes through it. So fine, we think we also have to all go through it. Yoga says it is possible to get out of it. So that is why everything that is suggested in yoga is for the purpose of getting out of it. And there is not just one fixed way. There are different ways suggested for the variety of people that we are. We all will agree that you are not the same as your constitution, your mental work, your life, the experiences of life are very different. The way you view life is very different than the way you would view life, right? As all of us are so unique, but still we can categorize. Yes, that one is a little bit similar to me, and so is somewhat different. And therefore Patanjali suggests different types of yoga, of which what we are discussing the other is the Kriya Yoga, the Karma Yoga. That is yoga of action. Through action, how you can get out of this bondage. In discussing that, when we are talking about klesha, klesha in action ties you down, binds you to the life and death cycle, does not let you get out of it. And what are the kleshas? Avidya, wrong knowledge. What is the wrong knowledge? We discussed that also a little, just to bring it back to your notice or to your memory, is that a wrong understanding. Avidya is a wrong knowledge, a wrong understanding of what is unreal as real. Now, of course, that raises a big question: what is real and what is unreal? And to answer that, we did a little exercise last time. We talked about, am I the body or I have a body? Am I the mind or I have a mind? Wherein we saw that, yes, in talking, in our conversation, we use the word I have a body. We communicate as if the body belongs to us. But when it comes to actual action, we behave as if I am the body. So there is this wrong knowledge that has got into our life and living, and our action is affecting our actions. Okay, so to begin with, that is where we are, and where we want to reach is quite some distance. How to cover that path? To cover that path, we are told these actions that we carry out, they are kind of made into a very powerful substance by attaching emotions to it. Very, very strong emotions to it. Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesh. Asmita is ego. I-ness. I am. I can. All these are ego statements that we keep making. Even if we don't make, we act from that premise. So that is one aspect of our strong emotions. Oh, so-and-so said a bad word to me. I'm hurt. Hurt is in the ego. Yes? And this, who is it that is hurt? That is the question a yogi will ask. And will come out of it and will realize there's nothing called hurt really existing. But for us, it's real. Considering the unreal as real. One small example I've given you, a very, very gross example. Okay. Another Asmita, and then we said Raga and Dvesha. Attachments and aversions. We have very strong likes and dislikes. We also have very strong, this I hate, not just, we always act from this. I like to listen to such talk, so I'm here. Oh, that is very boring, so I'm not there. And not only that, we also feel good and bad. We feel good when we have things that we like, and we feel bad when we don't get those things that we like. Right? Now this feeling is doing some work. So Rag and Dvesh is creating a bondage. Yes, it's tying you down. Okay. Lastly, Abhinivesh, we said. Fear. How can fear create attachment, bondage, tying down? Any idea? Any suggestions on that? Yes, fear does the same thing. When you are afraid of something, you will not go anywhere near it, and you will harbor a lot of thoughts and feelings on it. Fear also creates an adrenaline rush. Physiologically, those of you who know this, yes, and that's creating its reaction in the body. Just as much as Raga and Dvesha, and just as much as ego does. In fact, fear is one of the strongest in this manner. So these are the things that are tying us down. Patanjali never leaves it at saying that you have to take my word. Having said that, he also explains that how are these things tying you down through the theory of karma. What are the actions that can get you rooted into taking maybe another birth or having more life experiences? How and what all this happens is what we are going to look at. Before going on to state that, he first tells you how to get out of it. Now when you are listening to that how to get out of it, the first thing he says is te prati prasav heyaha sukshmaha. They have to be, the kleshas, avidya, asmita, rag, dvesha, abhinivesh, have to be made subtle. We discussed this also in one of the session, wherein that they are gross. To weaken them by constant awareness, all these 5. Having weakened them, then you have to make them as if they are asleep. That means not allow them to express. Create such situation, be in those kind of mental states and environment wherein these will not rise up, and gradually create such a state wherein as if they are burnt. Like a seed after burning cannot reproduce, cannot give rise, cannot sprout. So bring those kleshas to that kind of a state. So that is what we had dealt with in detail. But without touching upon it, I couldn't come to today's topic. So I said, let me at least touch on that. And then he says, what is the way out? Dhyana. How do you do this reduction? Making it subtle? By dhyana. We did a little bit of dhyana last time also. Would you like to try a little bit again today? We must keep practicing, no? Yes? So, before we get into the proper understanding of the theory of karma, as it is suggested, dhyana should be done. I would also want you, because Patanjali expects, when you say, oh, when you start doing dhyana, you will see how difficult it is. All of us, in fact, know it, right? For how long can you do concentration?